the Champions League favourites. Let's rank the remaining 4 teams now that we've seen the first leg of both of their semi-finals. Who are the favourites? Is there a clear favourite? Focusing sort of first on Man City, Real Madrid. I mean, they're locked at 1-1 after that first leg, Nick. Pure class of both the goals. Vinicius putting Real ahead against the run of play, but then Kevin De Bruyne smashing home a beauty, kind of against the run of play a little bit in the second half. So contrasting styles of play between Real Madrid and Man City. It's a level going into the second leg. Do you still think the winner of this semi-final wins the Champions League based on what we've seen so far in these semi-finals?
Yeah, I do, except, of course, with the asterisk that anything can happen over 90 minutes. It's the one thing about you can feel confident usually the better team will come out over 180 minutes over 2 legs. But when you got 1 leg in the equation, especially if you're a team who can defend, which both AC Milan and Inter Milan are capable of, then, yeah, anything's up there. But I do genuinely believe that was, I don't want to be like, oh, that was a symphony or whatever, but that was really entertaining football from 2 very, very good teams in Man City and Real Madrid. And, I left that thinking that Man City was the better team. They might not advance. And the favorite, I think, certainly is coming out of that side.
I agree with you. I think City just showed a lot more experience and control when you think about what happened to them at Real Madrid at that stage of the tournament last season. This time, more in control. Yes, Real were very good, especially at the start of the second half, and came out flying there. And Vinicius was excellent. I thought his battle against Kyle Walker was a joy to watch, really. I loved the moment at the end of the game when the full-time whistle went. They hugged each other, had a bit of a laugh and a joke. And there is a lot of respect between these teams when you look across the lineups. And the likes of Kevin De Bruyne stood tall. The main takeaway was that Erling Haaland, there is a way to stop him. He is human after all. And Antonio Rudiger did a phenomenal job. Him and David Alaba, the way one of them would go with Haaland, the other one would sweep, and just those two, but also Modric, Valverde, and Kroos did an excellent job shutting off the channels to Haaland in that game. So, this is going to be a great second leg between these 2 teams. But I'm with you. I think the winner still comes from that side of the bracket. But I did see enough in Inter Milan beating AC Milan 2-0 in the first leg, Nick, to suggest that Inter could cause either City or Real Madrid a problem in the final if that is how it all shapes up. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, this is a team that is bringing absolute studs off the bench in that game. And that's, I think, at this stage of a tournament when you can see a Lukaku or Brozovic or De Vrij, Correa. I mean, those subs are absolutely phenomenal. And Milan, to their credit as well, I think just had an off day, but they have plenty of players as well. The thing that I like about Inter and for their chances of making a surprise, making a real splash here is that they can change the way they attack you, right? Lautaro Martinez obviously gets a lot of the love, and Dzeko and Lukaku, but they can say, hey, you've been dealing with this guy for 60 minutes, now deal with this guy for 30. And the best teams can do that. City can do that. Real Madrid can do that. Can you ask questions of opposing defenses? And anybody who can do that, for the same reason that I thought Rudiger was fantastic against Haaland, but I don't expect that Real gave us a blueprint for how to beat Erling Haaland. I think they just had a good day against a guy who didn't have his best day. If you can challenge backlines, you got a chance to win. And I think Inter has a very good chance of doing that to either of these teams.
Yeah, I agree. I was really impressed. Obviously, Inter come flying out the traps with Dzeko and Mkhitaryan both grabbing 2-0 up inside the first 11 minutes. And then Calhanoglu also hit the post as well. And it was just, AC Milan will feel pretty happy with actually coming out of that game only losing 2-0, although they hit the post in the second half and improved a little bit. But yeah, I agree that the way that Inter were so incisive attacking-wise with Lautaro Martinez just nipping in and around, Mkhitaryan linking things up. Even Barella in midfield, I thought was excellent in kind of linking up the play. So I saw enough about Inter Milan in that first leg to think if they do get to the final, that whoever they face, it's not going to be lopsided. It's not. They will be the underdogs, but there's a real puncher's chance, or more than that, for them in the final if they do make it through and get past AC Milan in the second leg. Based on everything we've discussed, Nick, ranking wise. I mean, I think we had both of us had Man City number one heading into these semi-final matchups. Do you still think that's the case? Are they still the favourites, given that they went to the Bernabeu and got a draw, and now they go back to the Etihad with, I would say, an advantage, right?
Yeah, nothing's really changed for me, even 1 through 4, except that I do feel like Inter Milan is ahead of AC Milan, where I thought it was a bit more even. But those performances I thought showed a matchup problem for AC Milan. But yeah, when I look at Man City and Real Madrid as the two top teams of the group, I can't help but look at City and just think the depth is unparalleled, even for Real Madrid, which is a blue blood club who has spent so much to bring the best players to to Madrid. And the thing with Madrid, which is crazy to think about, because in my youth, when I talk about being in the 90s and the early 2000s, to think about anyone on any Madrid team as being under the radar is kind of surprising. But Vinicius, Benzema, Cruz, all these fantastic world-class players, they're either under the radar or we're taking them for granted. and I just think that there is a lot to like between these two teams.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I'm actually going to do something weird. I'm going to say Man City are number one still, but I'm actually going to go for Inter Milan and number two, because I think that they're going to get through. I just didn't see enough from AC Milan to suggest they can turn that around in the second leg, and I think Inter will handle it pretty comfortably. So that's my basis there on that. It's actually going to be a Man City Inter Milan final. And then Real Madrid number 3, AC Milan number 4, if I'm ranking the 4. Because, yeah, Real Madrid were good, but I think they will rue in the second half not taking those chances that Benzema had, that Vinicius cut inside and had a couple of opportunities. I don't think they'll get that many opportunities away at Man City in the second leg. So for me, I think Carlo Ancelotti, when you saw him talk afterwards, was pretty frustrated. He was like, yeah, we played well, we were solid, but it was almost like an opportunity missed in that first leg for Real Madrid to go to the Etihad with a 2-1 or even a 3-1 lead, because I think that's probably what they'll need. I think Haaland, like you mentioned, will have a much better day in the second leg. He's really hard to contain over an entire 180-minute stretch. And others will step up. Mahrez, Grealish, De Bruyne probably again, Foden, Julian Alvarez. There's so many attacking options there. But there were some really good displays across both games, and it got me really excited for the second legs in the Champions League semi-final, and also for the potential final as well, because we were thinking probably, right, whoever won out of Real Madrid and Man City, it'd be a bit of a blowout in the final and it'd be a bit of a non-event. But I was excited by what I saw from Inter Milan and the control that they have, the way Inzaghi has them set up. And they're on a bit of a tear, in Serie A. They're in really good form. So they're really peaking at the right time of the season. And you mentioned it right at the top, having the likes of Lukaku to bring off the bench. And he was really good when he came on. That shows that they have a lot of strength and depth in the attacking areas, and they can really hurt teams. So, yeah, we're excited for the Champions League semi-final second legs. And make sure you head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for all the latest how to watch information, analysis, preview, team news, video highlights, and much more.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.